and welcome to another exciting episode of Straight Talk with Roger Hunt, Unscripted. Today we have another special guest with us by the name of Reese, and Reese is here to share some very exciting and interesting things about what she does. But again, welcome to Straight Talk with Roger Hunt, Unscripted, and welcome to the show, Reese. It's a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, not a problem. Glad to have you. Can you tell us a little bit about Reese and what it is that you do?
A little bit about Reese.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Well, I'm an activist, a poet. I also do a lot of community outreach work. I'm a service writer by trade, and then I just try to acclimate myself to whatever needs there are in the community and try to get in there and get work done. But
Okay.
And I'm a mother.
Oh, mother, okay. How many kids you have?
I have two daughters.
Two daughters, okay, and their ages?
They're 9 and 10.
9 and 10.
Going on 31 and 32,
So
I'm sure.
you have your hands full like most parents
I
with kids
definitely
at
do.
that age. I can believe and understand that. Okay, now your organization name is Weekend Angels.
Weekend Angels, yes.
Tell us a little bit about what does Weekend Angels mean?
Well, what I wanted to do is I saw a lot of need in our community for activities which were provided to families for free and which address needs such as hunger in our community, the lack of free events that families who are struggling financially could attend as well. We really need to look at the fact that a lot of kids eat Monday through Friday, but not Saturday and Sunday.
So Reese, what areas, I know you're from the Centralia area, but what areas specifically, does your organization covers, or is it just Centralia?
Well, most of the events that we host are in the Centralia area,
Okay.
because that's where myself, my cousins, and my friends who are all volunteers, that's where we're based out of. But we do a lot of outreach work in the Metro St. Louis area.
Okay.
A lot of my friends are activists and community outreach workers, so if they contact me and they have a specific need that needs to be addressed, or they know a particular organization is in need of donations, then they contact me, and oftentimes I can solicit those items which they aren't able to receive. I'm kind of a networker, and I
Okay.
can definitely get in there and get what organizations need.
Okay, now some of the specifics of those needs, what is it that you really address? And then you deal with some activities. What are some of those activities specifically?
Okay, the activities that we do oftentimes in Centralia are things like we have carnivals, we have nature walks, and we do a lot of crafting things. But a lot of the crafting that we do is based on, one, recyclables, and then two, we try to have a lot of take-home things. And we do them around the holidays, because a lot of the children that we have in our program come from greatly impoverished families, and in this economy, a lot of families are struggling. So if we know there's Mother's Day or Valentine's Day, then we have an event where we are able to provide families, and we don't just do drop-offs with kids. We bring the family, the parents in, and the kids, and we make different craft projects that they can take home and they can gift to someone. That way, it gives the families a way for the parents to make something for the kids to make something for grandparents, parents, whatever it might be, and it really gives them something that they can cherish for
So
far
basically,
longer
a
than
family,
things.
I guess, consider a family oriented, or like you said, not necessarily drop off, but at the same time, something that the parents can interact with the children.
Yeah.
And is this from like 0 on up to what age?
We have had people bring newborns in, and they're just parents, and they just want to make something for their kids. And we have grandparents come in.
Oh, wow.
So it is not, there is no age requirement. We don't require a certain income bracket, nothing of that. Basically, if you want to come and you want to have a free activity with kids, bring them on. We have people that, we have area shelters and area homes for children, and they bring kids in, so it's open to anyone in the community.
Okay, now I understand that you are also a part of some other organizations, or can you tell us a little about those?
One of the other organizations I'm a part of, my best friend and I founded it. It's called Judez, Judez.
Okay.
And what Judez does is it's an organization specifically geared to help young girls.
Okay.
We have girls in there anywhere from about 9 to 16.
Okay.
And what we wanted to do is build a real foundation of communication with the girls, wherein we can talk about such things as like HIV, drug use, just basic principles of being a good citizen, a good human, and also, you know, we help things with like homework help, and we discuss with issues of like etiquette with them, and we take them on different, you know, sort of junkets around town, and we try to really help them embrace the importance of being in your community, taking part in your community, and we teach them about volunteering. And I mean, you know, we're trying to raise them up to be the next activist on the role, you know.
Okay, so with the organizations that you are involved with, the Weekend Angels, the Judez, how are you funded? I mean, with all of the various things that go on.
Right, we are truly funded by love, as we say. Like, I do not get major corporate funding or anything like that. But the really great thing about myself and a lot of the other people that are in our organization is that we all basically came from poor backgrounds. So we know how to hustle up things where other people wouldn't be able to, and we know how to make a dollar stretch, so to say. So what we do is, I have a lot of friends and that I've come in contact with because I'm a poet or an activist, or I do work with different people. So I basically am the go-to person for, like, if I know of an organization that wants to donate and I know of an organization in need, I'm the go-between them, and so I can do that. But basically, I just, you know, use Facebook a lot. I say, you know, like, we are, for instance, doing a clothing drive. And so I'll just post on my Facebook, like, we're having a clothing drive. And, we, you know, I just have tons of people who contact me. And they, once you are known as somebody who is constantly collecting things, you don't really have to do any more work. Like, I have companies that come to me that I don't even know how they know what it is that I do, but they'll call and they'll say, do you need some, like, construction paper? We've got 3 cases, or, and I'm like, sure, that's great. So whatever it is that they want to offer, we take, and we make use of every single thing that somebody gives to us. Okay,
so being on Facebook, and are there any other social media?
I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I have email, you know, any social media network, I'm on it.
So this program here is going to actually be a worldwide program that's going to go out.
Yeah.
So obviously you'd be open to corporate, private donations, so they can still
definitely.
This, you know, send in, and what we'll do is put your information as far as, you know, where they can send donations and contributions to it. That would be okay.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
We'll definitely love to do that. And, you know, speaking about how can someone get in touch with you, I think you just stated that the Facebook, again, we're going to put that out there. But I just want to say I really appreciate, one other thing before I even get there. Tell us about the homeless that you deal with.
Okay, I do homeless outreach as well.
Okay.
And I was homeless for a while when I was young. And as such, it really gave me a compassion for other homeless people, because now when I see homeless people on the street, I look at them with different eyes than a lot of people do. I'm not like, look at them on the street trying to collect money. I'm looking like, man, I have been there. So I'm always stopping because I see more of the human aspect of it. And I see them as I did myself during that time. So I, you know, do blanket donations, and we get together with tons of gloves and hats and socks and different things, and we hand them in and out on the street. And I've worked with different organizations getting food, and we do like you know, like food baskets to different shelters to kind of help out. And I call around to shelters like, hey, is there anything that you're in need of specifically? And like some of them will, you know, need large donations of bread or whatever it is. So I do what I can to try to get as much as I can to different organizations.
Now, let me ask you this too, and that's great. And then, like I said, being a person that was there, so you can kind of understand where they're at, and like I say, without prejudgment or prejudice, you kind of walked in that limelight with them. Now, do you deal with any? Is it battered women, or
yes,
deal with
yes,
that? Okay, as well. Okay, tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, well, that's another issue which is I'm impassioned about rather, because of my own experience.
Okay.
I was in two different situations where I was battered myself, and coming from a situation where you're a survivor of abuse, one of the best things that I found that I could do was not just speak about my own abuse, but really use that abuse to speak to others, to try to show them a sense of solidarity and provide them assistance by way of giving them a voice that they don't always have. So I do all sorts of things. Like we have the Clothesline Project, which is a national project that people from any walk of life can do. And basically you set up a clothesline and you have women who are survivors of domestic violence or family members of those who lost their life due to situations pertaining to domestic violence. You have them decorate a shirt. And the shirt is basically, if I wanted to give a message to people about domestic violence, like I'm a survivor, or if you want to speak directly to the person who abused you and say, basically like, you do not have power over me any longer. And it's whatever message you want to put on there.
Okay.
And then we hang it up in a, my father constructed very large, it looks sort of like laundry lines. And we hung up the t-shirts, and then when my hometown has festivals, we put those out there, and people can quietly walk through, and you would not believe the magnitude of emotions that people are overcome with, especially by the t-shirts where it has been from family members who have lost someone. So we do things like that in the community as well.
Well, I was going to say, with the shelters that the women are in, and we don't need to know where they're at because of privacy and secrecy for their safety as well. However, is it at some point they find a way out?
Oh yeah, like there is one facility. It's called PAVE. It is in Centralia. It's People Against Violent Environments.
Okay.
When I was in my own situation, I didn't really know who to turn to. And oftentimes you're humiliated, you've been beat down, you don't want to go to your family members, they're tired of dealing with you, whatever. So I found this wonderful facility, and I went in, and instantly they felt like family. Well, when you're set apart from your family, it's nice to have an organization that makes you feel at home. So I went in there, and they had a lot of resources that really helped me. So now I try to go back there and I speak to the women, and they are part of the ones that took part in the Clothesline Project. We're also going to be doing a poetry event wherein I'm going to go to different shelters and have women get their poetry together and their journal entries, and we're going to do a book. And the book will be given out to area agencies to kind of give them an opportunity to say, hey, we are not alone in this, and we have an opportunity to use our voices to speak to what we have survived, so that they can stop seeing themselves as a victim and start seeing themselves as survivors and as writers and poets and artists and whatever it is that that they need to do to express themselves.
Okay, and since you're a poet, can you just take us out with a piece, so you have something that's short and brief that you can do for us?
Short and brief.
Or just do one for us. We'd love to hear.
Okay.
I'm sure our audience would love to hear you.
Yeah, I can do one. This is called You Do Not Move Me. Oftentimes in our society, like you said, there is a lot of judgment regarding like the homeless or women who have been in domestic violence situations, or men who have as well, especially them. And so I wrote You Do Not Move Me as kind of a stance, like regardless of what people put upon you, you can stand against. It's called You Do Not Move Me. Imperious confrontation negates fruitless contemplations, acceptance of frustrations. Far too many in this society have evolved complacent. See, strength is not physical prowess, but rather the spirit resurrecting the proud. Standing in the face of aberration, the condemning of edification when tainted opinions are laying down upon you. Yet you refuse to look at them, for you are looking over them, past them, and through them. And through the reflection of your past, emblazing the very waters your soul drinks from, your purpose becomes visible. As you recognize that one nation indivisible does not mean that your thirst for unity can be quenched by opportunities to accept a sip of malice offered by those callous countrymen who would not spit on you if you were on fire. And the fire that burns from the core of your pain ignites a fury in your brain. Enraged, your soul exclaims, "You do not move me. You do not move me when you push me. Know that I do not just stand here before you, I stand against you. I do not just accept hatred. I thrive off of it, consuming and ingesting it, molesting it with the truth you cannot steal from me. You do not move me, and you cannot change me. You cannot silence me, and the silent things that you think of me do not rid me of my power. And the power of unity which you detest is the very unity which we possess, and for that I will hold no regret. See, the pressure that once pressed against my temple is now pressed against your hand as this temple stands firm. And though you only see just one woman here defiantly, know that there are legions of women and men behind me, their spirits uplifting me, invoking thee to sustain me. So shove your hatred, your jealousy, your judgment, your hypocrisies against me, and you will most assuredly see that you do not move me, for I have already moved on. And that's the piece.
Amen, amen. There you have it from Straight Talk with Roger Hunt Unscripted. Until then, the next time, we'll see you next week.